Hey guys, Ryobi King back again today. Yes, today is going to be another tool review as you've seen in the title. It is the brushless circular saw. I'm very excited to do this review. I've been waiting to do this one for a while. I've been testing this tool steadily throughout odd jobs here and there. I really wanted to make sure it was a good tool before I came out with it because it's such a staple tool. You know, everybody uses circular saws at one point. You know, it's not like your inflator, deflators, and stuff like that you may have the use for, you may not. It is an actual tool that almost everybody uses. So yeah, I've been very excited to do this, but I wanted to really test it out good first and to bring it to you today. So stay tuned, and here comes the review. Okay guys, so this tool does use the 18 volt Ryobi platform, which is awesome as always. It has a 5/8 inch arbor. They read that the no load speed is 3,800 RPMs, which is pretty good. And yeah, of course it is a brushless tool, and it has on-tool storage, which is excellent, so you don't lose your Allen key. The construction's pretty standard. What comes from Ryobi typically? Now, whenever you're buying stuff over the internet, if some of you don't have a Home Depot near you and you're looking to buy this online, it's hard to tell the differentiations in material. So on this circular saw in particular, the shroud housing that goes around it is not metal. It almost looks like a metal inside of pictures, but this is not metal. This is indeed is plastic. Do I think that it's weak plastic? Absolutely not. Do I think it'll do the job? 100%. The bottom on here, this almost feels like an aluminum, but I wouldn't imagine it is. I would imagine it's a steel. I will put whatever that is right here on the screen. I'll look into the information on that. Now you guys did see, I just went over all the different, adjustments and where your tool's held and everything else. All of these parts on this tool seem to be fairly robust. And that's why I'm going to say personally that I believe that this is one of the better tools right here that Ryobi has made as far as their brushless line. Some of their brushless tools I haven't been entirely happy with, and that's just the truth. Not that they're not good tools. I felt like the standard maybe was knocked down a few levels. But on this tool in particular, I feel like they did a fantastic job. Now the situation has arisen that a few people have asked the questions: do people think that Ryobi is pricing itself out of the market? I don't think so. And here's my reasons why. The battery system itself, if you compare battery to battery, okay, that is Ryobi's big play, is their batteries. They've used the same stent back battery system since the very beginning. Okay, so you gotta remember that. Yes, you can go get a DeWalt Atomic brushless series for, if you compare drill to drill, you can get them for about the same price. Why would you go with a Ryobi over a DeWalt? Well, the reasons why is because if you've known DeWalt, they've changed their battery systems multiple times throughout the history of their tools. Now, granted, are we going to be picking up the old NiCad batteries and putting them in these tools? You can, but they're not going to be very effective. Will they come out with something better than lithium? Maybe, but overall, I look at it like this. We are able to. I used to joke about this tool. I was like, before I owned it, keep in mind, I was like, I'll probably end up just using it for little jobs and then still pulling out, my bigger corded one. I found that that's not the case anymore. In fact, I'm thinking about selling the corded one because at this point, everything that I do, I pull this thing out for. It just does the job, and it does it almost as well. Granted, it does get bogged down a lot easier. For example, if you got wood pinching going on, if you're cutting a board that's like this, and it's hanging off of something, and you start cutting through it and it starts to pinch closed, this will stop very quickly. Is where with a corded option, typically it's still got enough power, it'll go ahead and push through it as long as it's like a 2x4 or something like that. The pinching on this blade does slow down that little brushless in there, and that that definitely stops the blade. But other than that, I mean, cutting through thick objects, yeah, it does the job. It does what it's advertised to do with absolutely no problem. Now, since this is a brushless tool, yes, it does have the prongs on the inside, so that way you do get the additional power out of your plus HP batteries. If you put a 9 amp hour battery in this, for example, I had a buddy that wanted shelves built in his shed. Well, he doesn't do a whole lot of woodworking. He does metalworking. Actually, you guys seen him in one of my previous videos. I was able to take this tool and one 9 amp hour battery and do the entire job and never have to change a battery, which was fantastic, because then all I had to do was bring this tool, bring the battery, and I was good to go. I also brought my miter saw that day, but that's a next video. I'm going to be doing the miter saw video discussing why I like corded over cordless on a miter saw. But that's up next. If you want to see that video, hit a like. Leave me a like on this video. So yeah, that's kind of my opinion on this tool. I'm going to go ahead and do some cuts with it now, and you guys can see what you think. I'd say this tool is a pretty average weight whenever you compare it to other circular saws. They rate at 6.6 pounds. On my scale, I got it pretty close. It's right about right there. Now, because this is a 7 1/4 inch blade, you do get 2 inches all the way up to 7 inches of depth of cut. So that's pretty decent. But that's something that kind of goes around the board with this kind of a saw. It's all about the same. Now, in my opinion, I wish they would have just scrapped the light on the front and just made the guard on the top metal. It just seems kind of useless. You're not going to be using this at dark. Alright guys, I know that was extremely impressive. That saw just cut 10 slices of 2x4. No, I'm over exaggerating. Clearly that's not really, it should never be a challenge for your saw to cut through a 2x4 10 times. But the point of it was to show you that it can do the job. It does work. Depending on what your field is, and what it is you're wanting to use this specific tool for, will depend on whether or not you think it's a good tool or not. I have a general purpose, really junky saw blade on this saw. It's nothing great. I use this typically to cut 2x4s, sheets of plywood, anything that's rough cut. I have not tried to do anything, which, I mean, it's a circular saw. You're not typically doing anything precise with a circular saw anyways, which is kind of why I think it's such a great tool. It's able to do everything that's its initial use without any kind of a problem, which is why I love this tool. I mean, it's great. I haven't really used any other brushless circular saws to compare it to say, well, it's better than this one or it's better than this one. But I can compare it to what I've used in the past as far as corded circular saws, and I can say, yes, there is a power difference. Is it much? No, not a whole lot. But it is substantial enough to say, well, if I was going through a hardwood or something, I might want to possibly pick up the other one. But at the end of the day, you could still cut through it with the saw. It just, the other ones would do it better. But there's always a specific tool for every job. That's just kind of the way it works. But if you're wanting something where you're out on a job and you don't want to have to mess with a cord or anything like that, this is definitely a great tool. But yeah, I would like to thank everybody for continually watching my videos, supporting my channel as always. I am at 915 subscribers. That's crazy. I'm almost at 1,000. Yeah, I'm so pumped. I really am. I'm extremely excited. I can't wait to hit 1,000. Not only for monetization, but I think once I hit 1,000, I'm also allowed to do live video from like mobile phones and stuff. So I'm gonna start going to trips. Like I'm gonna take a trip to the direct tool and show you guys what an actual direct tool store looks like. So that's gonna be really exciting. So thanks for coming and watching this video today. Stay tuned for more. I'll be posting as regularly as I possibly can. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks again. Wow guys, almost to 1,000 subscribers. This is great. I'd like to thank my new subscriber Travis Samuels for joining. I appreciate all the support.